Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you this morning. CEO Jack McDonald of Polysign talks about a possible tuck-in acquisition. Say what? We're going to get into it. Ripple partner prepares for real-time payments. You're going to want to know every bit of that. CBDC pilot passes with flying colors, ladies and gentlemen. And how about XRP backed by gold? I've got some thoughts I want to share with you on that. And then we're going to hear from James Wallis, about the automated market maker exchange. It's a world exchange, ladies and gentlemen. It's the XRP Ledger. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.12 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. We're off by 0.4%. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin right now, 23,200 plus. Ethereum, 1,600 plus. And Tether market cap, 70.8 billion, they say. 37 cents for XRP. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, Uphold is my exchange. Love having them as a sponsor, and I love being a customer. And I was a customer first. That's the way we like to do it around here. Yeah, it's home of the altcoins. But let me tell you something. Uphold is different because they've got radical transparency. But more importantly, they're anything to anything. And speaking of which means you can buy private equity through your Uphold wallet at Link2. Of great, incredible opportunities, I believe, like Polysign, Ripple, and other incredible products on that platform. But right now, I want you to hear what Ray Fuentes from Link2 is getting ready to tell you about. Well, actually, Jack McDonald's going to tell us, but listen to Ray break it down. This is amazing.
Hi everyone, it's Ray Link2. In this clip, Polysign CEO Jack McDonald reveals a possible exit for the Link2 portfolio company. Jack mentions that a tuck-in acquisition by a bank could quite possibly be on the roadmap for Polysign. What makes this idea more attractive and quite possibly a reality is the fact that Polysign's business model mirrors that of traditional asset servicing firms, which includes services typically provided by the largest financial institutions in the world, like BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, State Street, BNY Mellon, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and many more. A tuck-in acquisition is often referred to as a bolt-on acquisition. It's a type of acquisition in which the acquiring company merges the acquired company into a division of the acquiring entity. This technique is often used when the acquiring company wishes to obtain an advantage, but at a lower cost than it would be required to implement the changes on its own. A successful tuck-in acquisition can increase revenues and broaden the acquiring company's capabilities and resources. Listen to Polysign CEO Jack McDonald yourself, and when you're finished, head on over to link2.com to sign up, download our app, and invest in the Link2 portfolio company Polysign. Thanks for tuning in.
Our vice chairman, Tim Keeney, used to run all asset servicing at BNY Mellon. So he and I have shared this vision of where the business would ultimately go. It happened quicker than we thought because of the opportunity to acquire MG Stover. The clients' segments are the same. So the idea is to cross-sell custody to the fund administration clients, sell fund administration to the custody clients. And what we can do with the data behind the scenes in terms of reconciling data, pricing positions, reporting, et cetera, really starts to have some powerful synergies when you put those businesses together. And so we're quite excited about that business. It's been 6 months. We did a capital raise in the middle of last year, brought in some great investors to lead that round and to acquire that business. And we're very excited about partnering those businesses going forward. You know, skipping ahead, we're all investors, and, you know, part of investing is exiting. And I do think about that. My job as a CEO is to grow a business that will ultimately result in an exit of some sort. That can take many shapes and sizes, but one of the strategic thesis that we had in acquiring the MG Stover business is it makes it more attractive ultimately on the exit because it mirrors this business model that the traditional asset servicing firms have, and could be a tuck-in acquisition for one of those types of banks, you know, down the road when we're ready to get to that point.
And imagine, and look, I'm speculating now. First of all, thank you to Link2, Ray, and Jack McDonald there at Polysign. But imagine the connection being so close to BNY Mellon. Imagine BNY Mellon becoming that actual bank that wants to do a tuck-in, bolt-on acquisition. where it goes, nobody knows. But I tell you what, I like what I see, and it is remarkable. Click the link underneath the video and see if it's right for yourself. Boy, I tell you what, the news just keeps getting better. This is New Zealand prepares for real-time payments here. Now, what's so important about this, Brad? Well, I'm getting ready to tell you, and I'm happy to tell you. First of all, ACI Worldwide, they're the ones handling and working here with New Zealand to get these real-time payment solutions in place here. And I tell you something, it's exciting to me because it doesn't cite anything about Ripple or XRP. Let me be clear, right? But I do want to show you this as a reminder. ACI Ripple partner does $14 trillion each day. Keep that in mind. Now, this is New Zealand. They didn't suggest that they were using Ripple or XRP in this particular instance, but they are a Ripple partner. Is this a test in New Zealand to see how real-time payments are going in conjunction with Ripple and maybe even ODO in some way? We don't know the answer to that. But I tell you what, it's exciting. And knowing that they're a Ripple partner at the end of the day, somewhere along the line, some of that $14 trillion is expected to run through Ripple's corridors, and I can't wait to find out when and from where. This is another place to be watching, hotspot. It's Brazil, ladies and gentlemen. They just had a CBDC pilot pass with flying colors. Again, we are watching closely because we can't see the direct connection in this to Ripple or XRP, but we know, again, Ripple has a very deep presence in Brazil. So this is another area to watch very closely to see if not only that pilot that passed with flying colors ends up becoming a blossoming relationship with Ripple. And we know without a doubt, Ripple has had an incredible, extensive partnership with the Bank of England for many years, many years now. And we are obviously watching this. We know that they are on the Digital Pound Foundation as well and helping them design and release a Britcoin or a central bank digital pound for the UK. Things are really headed that direction. If you look at the fundamental news here, we're seeing a lot of action taking place here. And I'm reminded, we're going to hear from James Wallis on a different matter, and it's a big one. But I'm reminded right now that James Wallis told us that there were more than a dozen central bank digital currency pilots they were working on, and they couldn't discuss them currently. But he said 2023 would be a year where you would hear, as Ripple has said themselves as a company, more information about global pilots between those central bank digital currencies. So this is getting to be an exciting year, and it's just started. Now let's change gears just for one quick second here. There has been for many years now a discussion and speculation about rumors about XRP being backed by gold. I've not subscribed to that, and I'm willing to entertain any conversation that has a reasonable amount of speculation to it. Obviously, we are wild speculators here on this channel, but this is not something that I've come to. This is not my area where I think this happens. And shout out to Emily for sharing this information. It's not a shot at her or anyone else. But for me, what I see is more something along these lines, because I agree with Matt Hamilton here. Matt Hamilton was in a long thread, and I'm going to spare you that. But just to say that he says here, you can track gold by tokenizing it on the XRP ledger and creating a token such as the XAU, like companies have been doing for the past decade. But you can't back XRP itself with gold. And I just think that's so spot on. And shout out to McDub here. I think my response or pointing here was not clear enough for him. So I'll just clear this up for everyone here. I know that you can't do that. Matt is right. I'm actually highlighting the fact that I agree with Matt Hamilton on that point. I think Matt is spot on. Now, if you want to back digital fiat money, CBDCs, by gold and other commodities, and have XRP settle those transactions on the XRP ledger, Well, then now you're speaking my language. Because I think that's a great way to bring confidence to digital dollars and digital money. Not just for the consumer and citizens of the world and in their respective countries, but for the trust of other banks and financial systems and institutions to assure them that this digital money is in fact backed by very, very real assets like gold and other commodities. Now, this is a great point right here, and shout out to XPunkDS right here. X-Spector is a sponsor, and we're going to have him there at the conference. I tell you, I couldn't be more excited for Dirk to be participating in XRP Las Vegas 2023. He makes an incredible observation and point here that goes to the conversation we're having. Why are fast settlements not possible in the traditional financial system? Pre-funded liquidity, known as Nostro-Vostro accounts and correspondent banking relationships. It takes months to build those. XRP solves the pre-funded liquidity problem elegantly as a settlement currency. You just can't say it any better. But maybe you can. James Wallis echoes that same statement. We covered this back in January of this year, where James Wallis is sitting down in the Digital Pound Foundation, and this particular spot, 1 minute clip here I want you to hear, he finishes with explaining about how you could do this as one of the options by using an automated market maker like the XRP Ledger as a decentralized exchange. Take a listen.
Last one I'm going to talk about, because I want to hear what the panel have to say, is cross-border payments. This has obviously been around for years. Maybe it's a little bit more of an interesting topic now with Brexit and trade. New trade partners developing around the world. But this, it's still a very inefficient approach. Now, obviously, we believe from the Ripple's perspective, with our Ripple net, we've solved that in certain markets. But with digital currency, I think you can go one step further. You can do these payments in a few different flavors. One is through an intermediary, which is really a bit more like the existing sort of correspondent model. But also, you could go through a digital exchange, which would,
a digital exchange,
automate the FX, in a very cost-effective way.
So you could go through a digital exchange that could automate the FX in a very cost-effective way. This is exactly what we're talking about. The XRP Ledger is where the value really is, because it is the world exchange. And little by little, what they're doing is plugging in all of the lower exotic corridors right on up to the main G7 nations of the world, like the UK pound, I believe, and eventually building it so that you can have a match of any pair of currencies and be able to make a market to settle it and use XRP to do so where applicable. And over time, I think the financial institutions will learn that they can release that dormant capital because they don't need to pre-fund accounts. That is the goal. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to say from where I'm sitting, and that's where we're headed. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.